So this person is in their 10th house energy for the year of 45, from their last birthday to their next birthday in 2026. So again, the 10th house is a relationship house for me. Again, I explained to you that it is the top of the chart. It's where we hold our titles. So this person would be anticipating a title change during this year of 45. Okay, that's the theme of the year. The next thing we're going to look at is the first house. Remember, the first house is one of those houses that I use to predict engagements and marriages. The first house is about our physical body and also our personal goals. So in the first house, this person is a Cancer ascendant. So currently Jupiter, the planet of blessings, growth, expansion, things of that nature, is in the sign of Cancer. So that means that Jupiter is occupying this person's first house, bringing a lot of blessings, bringing a lot of growth and opportunity their way. And also, when you have your natal Jupiter in a sign that is matching the current transiting sign, Jupiter in that particular sign, that indicates for me that this person is probably going to have some type of change in their relationships. And just depending on where they are in your relationship, just be using this person as an example, they were currently dating someone, and then all of a sudden the proposal came and they got married. So that's how that Jupiter in the first house will work for you with regards to an engagement. The second thing that I looked at and highlighted is the fourth house is occupied as well. Fourth house is about family. Again, the family that you come from, but also the family you create for yourself. And also, this is a house of, when we look at the fourth house, about where we actually live. And in this particular house, currently transiting there is the planet Mercury and Mars. And a lot of times in astrology, we are creating a story depending on what the planets are, what planets that are being highlighted in particular houses. So since Mercury is the planet of communication, how we exchange information, and it's also the planet of contracts and negotiations, that's occupying our fourth house, along with Mars, which is the planet of initiative, moving things forward. So the story of these two planets in her fourth house and how they directly correlate into her engagement is Mercury there having the discussion about moving a family forward, like talking about creating a family, talking about getting married. And one of the first things that we typically look at when we're starting to join families and create a family is getting married. So they were having conversations around that. And also is Mars is prompting this. Again, Mars is the planet of initiative and moving things forward. The third thing that I looked at was the seventh house, which is one-on-one relationships, considered the marriage house in astrology. And in this person's seventh house, she currently has Pluto, which is the planet of transformation. Now, Pluto may not be considered the most romantic planet. Most people don't consider it a romantic planet. However, it is a transformative planet. When Pluto is occupying a house, it's there to evolve it and transform it in a really, really deep psychological and intimate way. So with Pluto being in her seventh house of relationships and marriage and one-on-one relationships, she was due for some type of transformation with regards to her one-on-one relationships, particularly in the marriage arena. And it's not lost on me that Pluto is currently in retrograde. So when we look at a planet that's in retrograde, this is called all about reflection. This is about going back. This is about looking over past events. And for this particular relationship, she did disclose that they had a breakup a few weeks prior, and they were just getting back together, and he went ahead and proposed to her. The next one, of course, is the 10th house, but I'm going to come back to that particular house because there is something unique about this 10th house and the planet that occupies that ties this engagement together. I'm going to skip over to the 11th house. Remember, I told you the 8th and 11th house, I don't really look at them as significant indicators about a relationship, marriage, or engagement. I usually use them as a verifier. After I've looked at the other houses that I usually look at, I want to see what the 8th and 11th house are doing because these kind of assist with those types of relationships and, kind of pushing it forward. So the 11th house is activated at this time. The 11th house is typically about our groups and organizations, our friendships, but it is also the house of unexpected events, and it's also the house of our long-term goals, dreams, and wishes. And again, like I had mentioned previously, most people want to be connected with someone. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be marriage, but they may want a long-term committed relationship. And in this particular area of her chart, Uranus, the planet of surprise, the planet of doing things in a unique or unorthodox way and unexpected events, is currently transiting in her 11th house. So this kind of highlights something of a surprise happening, an unexpected event happening, something coming out of the blue happening. So this was a surprise engagement, a surprise proposal, and they subsequently went on to get married within a few days. So like I told you, she talked to me on, I think, Monday or Tuesday. By Friday, they had went off to the courthouse and gotten married. So now let's double back to the 10th house, because this is something interesting. And I noticed when she was giving me, the story about how they had gotten together. Now, you remember I talked about the 10th house being at the top of your chart. This is where your title changes are. This is where you go from being a girlfriend to fiance to wife. So we're talking about the 10th house and how you show up. In this particular house, currently transiting for her is the planet Neptune. Now, the planet Neptune is the planet of illusion. It's a planet of confusion. Sometimes it's the planet of not seeing things clearly, but it also can be the planet of where we do things in secret or behind the scenes, or we do things that, we may not necessarily want to share with folks. When Neptune is in this 10th house, when she told me the story of what happened with them getting married, it made sense. They got engaged really quickly, which is that Uranus energy in the 11th house. They decided to get married on that Friday, but the two of them eloped. They did not tell anyone that they were getting married. They went down to the courthouse, got married, came back, and then they told their families that they had gotten married. So for me, with that Neptune being in the 10th house, and this being a relationship, potentially a marriage house as well, it makes sense that they went ahead and eloped and didn't tell anyone. That's that Neptunian energy. That is that energy of secrecy. That is that energy of doing things behind the scenes and not sharing it with anyone. So it was just really funny to me to see that she had Neptune just going into her 10th house. It was at 0 degrees. And when we talk about planets entering a house, the planets work their most potent when they're entering a house and leaving a house. And at 0 degrees, this is a double whammy of energy. So it makes sense that they went ahead and they eloped. So that is a brief breakdown of how this engagement, this proposal, and this quick marriage, and subsequently this elopement happened for my client. So if you're interested in having your own reading, whether you want a full spiritual reading about different areas of your life, or if you just want a love reading, please visit my website at www.melaningoddesslife.biz to schedule your appointment. The September appointments are completely full. I will be posting the October appointments within the next few days, but just check back to the website periodically to find out what I have available. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope I explained it, where you can understand it. And if you have any questions or comments, put them down below. And thank you so much. And I will talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.